Hi, my name is Marianne Brooks. I'm a therapist and a registered social worker. I work with women and girls aged 12 to about 35. There's some fluctuation in there in terms of I can go a little younger and a little older as well. I think the greatest challenge is the anxiety that has come with the onset of technology and just this the general social pressures that exist as you are growing into yourself. And this persists even past puberty and high school, going into university. There's all sorts of pressures to perform. And part of that, I think, really is this kind of curated image that we've created on social media that is it's devoid of unhappiness and sadness and flaws, and it can even fall back on physical flaws, right? If you have acne when you're 13, you don't see acne on Instagram, or different body types as well. So I think it can be all encompassing, and I think it really ostracizes people from the their sad feelings. They have a discomfort with that sadness, not only because of the images that they're being fed, but also because a lot of these new technologies really rewire the reward system in your brain. And so you are constantly looking for these quick hits of dopamine. And part of that lowers your distress tolerance and your ability to just sit and be bored or read a book or enjoy time with your family. And so I think those can be some of the biggest challenges right now. I think it can help people realign with their own value systems. I think a lot of us know what's good for us. And I think there tends to be a disconnect between the way that we want to live and the way we feel and what we actually show to the world and how we experience the world. And I think that separation can create a lot of discord inside internally. And I think coming to counseling can create a space where you can really outline and flesh out, like, these are my values. This is what I'm missing in my life, or this is how I'm not living within my value set. And these are the steps that I need to take to address it. And these are the tools that I can use to tolerate the distress as you're making moves and changes to get there. I tend to work a lot with cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, and internal family systems. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a lot about drawing attention to your thought processes and engaging in the rhetoric with them and finding alternative avenues, right? I think sometimes we get stuck in the loop of a thought or an idea or a mentality, and the idea of taking agency of your own thoughts and challenging them can be very empowering in and of itself. And dialectical behavioral therapy is this kind of like radical acceptance approach. And it fits very well with internal family systems, because internal family systems has this premise of no bad parts, right? We're comprised of various pieces, and each part of our system is working towards the same goal: to keep us safe, to make us happy, and to support us in whatever ways are possible. DBT has this premise of acceptance. So you are there to accept yourself and also understand change may be important for who you want to become. And it's the idea of dialects, right? Two things can exist in the same space. I can understand that my reactions are maybe because of a past trauma or certain circumstances that I've been in before. And at the same time, I would like to change that behavior pattern in order to lead a better and more fulfilling life. That was a bit of a whirlwind ride for me. I have always volunteered since I was really young, and I actually worked at my first counseling clinic when I was 15. I was their secretary, and I helped them with like French language accreditations and stuff like that. But I never wanted to be in counseling as like a professional counselor. I wanted to be in policy and politics. So I went that route and I worked with children from abusive families in Greece and then human trafficking victims in Belgium. And I worked on policy papers there as well. And then I worked in the Canadian Parliament for a little bit. And then eventually I was supposed to continue in social policy, which I'm sure one day I still will to some degree. But I did my master's in social work because you could do policy with it. And one of my practicums, they recommended me do a clinical placement. And I got lucky enough to get taken on by Anscombe at Queen Alexandra Hospital. And I fell in love with counseling. And yeah, the rest is history. I think it's so person to person. And I think that it would be wrong for me to give like a blanket statement on that because different people, not just youth, but people in general, have different levels of comfort with talking about difficult circumstances or even talking about their values or sharing good moments in their life. And I think it's about really meeting someone where they're at and working within the framework that they're comfortable with, not pushing for more just because you think it would be beneficial long term. It might actually be more harmful in the immediate space. So, yeah, I think just kind of meeting people where they're at. Love when people feel comfortable in a space with me. I love when they feel more confident coming out of that space or more regulated or capable of achieving the goals that they have set. I think those are all beautiful things to see. And then I love the challenge of it. I like that people are complex and different, and it forces me to come into a space with you and understand your perspective. I think there's something really beautiful in that and very humanizing. It teaches you so much about just the life that we live. And then the self reflective piece is a lot of the challenges that people face force me to look internally as well and take on those new perspectives.